Hello and welcome to Google Cloud EMEA's Public Sector Summit. My name is Mark Palmer and I lead the public sector business here in EMEA. I'm really excited to be with you and share a perspective on where we are as a region and how Google Cloud can help. 2020 was a big year in the Palmer home. It was my son's first year at university, but like many of you, he had to adapt, attend lectures remotely and find creative ways to stay connected. This year reshaped the way all of us live, work and interact. We saw the impact on our communities and the economy. Both governments and public service providers worked hard to keep businesses fully open, schools running and provide essential services to affect communities. With unemployment skyrocketing as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, authorities around the world are pivoting fast in order to help their citizens. The Spanish Social Security Administration recently launched a chatbot on Google Cloud in partnership with Accenture to accelerate their response to citizens' requests, and it received 20,000 queries a minute in its first day online. I'm incredibly proud of the partnership my team has built with all of our customers in EMEA. I spent time catching up with many of them in recent weeks, and as you would expect, the events of this year forced them to problem solve in new ways. The year is coming to a close, so I summarised some of those meeting insights and turned them into the talk you'll hear today. And surprise, surprise, there is no magic formula. But many of their successes were rooted in a set of common behaviours, and I call these the 5 behaviours for digital diffusion in the public sector. Now, these organisations first identify and net down their digital priorities, prioritising data security, privacy and sovereignty. Then they create exciting services and experiences by identifying new use cases for AI. Thirdly, they understand how to navigate the pitfalls of application modernisation. And of course, they see sustainability as a net positive. Finally, they put people at the centre of cloud adoption. I'll explain these in more detail later on. But first, we need to set the scene. In our digital future, Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission's president, said it best. We must make this Europe's digital decade. And I completely agree. Innovation is vital to improving your operational efficiency and delivering digital solutions that have a lasting impact on your employees, customers, and citizens. So our mission at Google Cloud can help you speed up with innovation and deliver outstanding public services that are secure, responsive, and efficient. Now that's a lofty statement, but you can succeed by adopting technology that facilitates innovation. So let's get back to those 5 crucial behaviours, starting with digital priorities. As you adopt digital solutions, you need to address strict data security and privacy requirements. These policies are driven by reasonable concerns over government access to sensitive European public and private sector data, but also concerns about Europe's reliance on global service providers to support critical services and workloads. The most successful organisations prioritise 3 types of sovereignty. First, data sovereignty, and this means you are the ultimate controller of data encryption and key access. Then, operational sovereignty. This means you determine the operational visibility and access of your provider, giving you the scale of a multi-tenant environment with the control of on-premise cloud. And finally, software sovereignty. With tools like Anthos, this means you're free to build with open source APIs and move between environments and providers. Now at Google, we recognise that your data is yours and yours only. We help you achieve sovereignty through a set of privacy controls and guarantees. We do not sell your data to any third parties. We do not use it for advertising. We only use it to deliver the cloud service that you are consuming in Google Cloud. We guarantee the integrity of your data by encrypting it at rest and in transit. and with a new capability known as confidential computing, even when it's being processed. With access transparency, access justification, and access approval, you have sole control over who can access your data. You can even deny Googlers access to your data. No one at Google has standing access to your data. And you have sole control over the location in which your primary copy, your secondary copy, and any backups are maintained. Finally, with External Key Manager, you also can maintain the encryption keys off-site from Google Cloud and air-gapped from any employee at Google. All of these standards have been vetted and accredited against international norms. So moving on now to the second behaviour, integrating AI. You generate enormous amounts of data, but most of it is unorganised, inaccessible, and distributed. If you can derive intelligence from that data, you can use it to make faster, more informed decisions. But successful organisations go one step further. They identify new ways to automate and personalise employee, customer, and citizen services with AI. According to McKinsey, less than half European firms have adopted AI. But if we want to make this Europe's digital decade, we need to match the rate of AI development and diffusion already seen in the US. Now, if we can do that, we'll add an extra 20% to Europe's combined economic output by 2030. So what are the best use cases for AI? Well, it depends. But a lot of organisations start by integrating AI into their existing workflows. One example I see frequently is the need to improve contact centre interactions. Contact centre AI can help you assist live agents in real time find new product opportunities through an added layer of analysis and expedite customer requests. Now remember the Spanish Social Security Administration's chatbot? It has already interacted with over 1.5 million unique users, making it the largest instance of dialogue flow in Spain to date, and a fantastic example of solving. If you have already started building AI products and services, you need tools to take your in-house team to the next level. And we can help. We can help engineers streamline machine learning operations, such as data collection, feature extraction, model versioning, and monitoring. We also help data scientists and developers build custom machine learning models with both code-based and no-code options. Finally, we provide a set of pre-trained APIs that can be used by developers with limited machine learning expertise to realize the full potential of AI. So how far can these tools take you? Ross Lab at Technical University of Munich pre-trained models to read up to 393 billion amino acid sequences from over 2 billion proteins that make up the protein universe. These include viral diseases like COVID-19. When I mention the term agility, what comes to mind? Well, agility is your ability to respond to change. It means scaling up or down with demand and eliminating barriers to deployment. Application modernization is an important route to agility. It opens up the door to cloud services and provides a flexible alternative to on-premise infrastructure. Successful organizations identify, understand, and navigate the pitfalls of application modernization. Just like any transformation, it comes with inherent difficulties. It can lead to the fragmentation of APIs and developer skill sets. And without well-defined best practices, it's difficult to manage and secure your applications. So to cater to diverse employee skill sets, you need to select the right tools for the job. With the Anthos announcement last year, we created a uniform development and operations experience across hybrid, multi-cloud, on-prem and edge environments. Our open APIs give you the freedom and interoperability you need to exchange useful data between systems. And to help you navigate a new terrain, we provide industry-leading guidance on how to build, run, manage and secure applications on our platform. This is based on our site reliability engineering approach to operations and is based on years of experience managing Google's own applications at scale. Our application modernization customers have been able to achieve 35% cost savings by auto-migrating and 75% through automation and refactoring. In the UK, the Department of Transport's digital team delivers services across 24 different public bodies, from vehicle licensing to aviation security. They needed to increase their service delivery speed and look to the cloud for a scalable and cost-efficient solution. By moving their instance of Lennon into BigQuery, they reduced search query times from 5 days to seconds. Now, the fourth behaviour relates to sustainability. Climate change is a global issue, and the emissions from IT infrastructure account for about 1% of global electricity. Successful organisations see sustainability as a long-term investment. As you adopt more cloud services, your compute consumption will rise. So choosing efficient and smart data centres will save you money with every API call. On average, a Google data centre is twice as energy efficient as a typical enterprise data centre. And we use machine learning to create smart data centres that reduce your cooling costs by 30%. And this solution is now available for all of our customers and partners. If you have specific sustainability objectives, we can help you on your journey to carbon neutrality. Sustainability has been a part of our strategy at Google since we were a garage startup. We run the cleanest cloud in the industry and have been carbon neutral since 2007. For our cloud customers, that means zero operational emissions caused by your usage, and we will continue to lead the charge. By 2030, when you use Google Cloud, you will use carbon-free electricity every hour of every day. So there's one more behaviour to cover. Your citizens expect flawless digital experiences. And to serve them, you need an agile workforce that can develop and update services quickly and reliably. Many of you came here today to discover new technologies, but successful organisations develop an adoption framework that accounts for technology, processes, and people. At Google, we have retained our own culture of continuous innovation. And now we partner with organisations to share what we know. But here's the catch. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. We all know that to succeed, you need to manage the employee impact of cloud adoption. In other words, you need everyone moving in the same direction. Our approach to people centres on 5 principles. First, sponsorship. Establishing visible executive sponsorship that creates a mandate for change. Second, teamwork, which is about driving collaboration and adoption across all application teams to develop trust, consistency, and innovation. Then, communication, ensuring transparent communication is used to reinforce and nurture a culture, share failures, and reinforce their learnings together. Fourth, behaviours, which allow you to create clear expectations and support structures for people to continuously improve how they work. Finally, around people operations, increase role clarity, performance measures and recognition, and that they're tuned to help cloud adopters fulfill their new tasks and duties. So that's it. Those are the 5 behaviours for digital diffusion in the public sector. Write them down on a napkin or store them on that old 2 gig USB that you still have lying around. We're entering uncharted waters in 2021. And your employees, customers, and citizens will look to you for innovation, new services, and new experiences. Whether you're tuning in from a cafe or your living room, I hope that you and your loved ones are staying safe. We'll get through this together. Technology will be part of the solution. So thank you for tuning in. Take care and enjoy the event.
Welcome to the Global Public Sector Summit. I'm absolutely delighted that you've all been able to join us. My name is Hema Purohit and I am the Director for Government and Public Sector across the UK and Ireland. It's an amazing event and I hope that you're all going to enjoy the next few days. That's going to be extremely busy. Thank you all for joining us for Mark's keynote, which was very exciting. Huge amount of information there. And Mark, I believe you've got some very exciting news and announcements to share with us now.
Yes, thank you, Hema, and hi everyone. So first of all, I'm pleased to announce that Google Workspace for Government, and we're bringing the best of Google collaboration and communication tools and offerings with pricing that meets the needs of the public sector. So whether it's powering social care visits or employment support or virtual courts, Google Workspace helps government workers and those that serve to communicate and collaborate. And these offerings will be available early in the new year, next year. And so what is Google Workspace for Government? Well, first of all, it's about pricing, about providing options at price points that meet specific needs and constraints of government. Then it's about flexibility. So as governments can choose the offering, really, that provides the services they need for the people that need them, using Google Workspace as either the full suite or just the services they want to complement their existing tools. Google Workspace offers interoperability, so tools like Google Docs or Sheets or Slides and Calendar can work with other services that you may use. And then finally, it's about compliance. We designed Google Workspace to meet stringent privacy and security standards. And with Google Workspace for Government, we are able to help organizations find the best package to meet their needs, including tools that support compliance with requirements such as data location, portability, archiving users, and more. So that's a really important and exciting announcement. I'm very excited about that, and we'll share a lot more details in the new year.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. That is indeed exciting news. And I know that a lot of people across public sector globally are going to be very, very excited about that. So thank you. Okay, so we had some great content in your keynote. So let's kick off and try and answer as many questions as we can. The Spanish example that you mentioned of the chatbot was really great, actually. The question we've had is, does this use contact center AI? Contact center AI is a great service, and what other languages is that actually available and ready for? And the bonus question is, does it work in Arabic?
I don't actually know the answer if it works in Arabic, but it certainly works in Spanish and English and many, many languages, actually, Hema. So we'll have to find the answer to that particular one. But the benefits are that you can manage contacts through citizens or inbound inquiries at huge volumes. Many, many thousands per minute came in, as I just mentioned, to the Spanish contact center. And without that, you really struggle to serve your population in situations where there's sudden political announcements or a crisis like a pandemic. And so being able to scale up very quickly is very, very important for public sector organizations. And contact center AI enables you to get the information that you need to your citizens in a very timely and effective and efficient manner, as was demonstrated back in the early stages of the pandemic in Spain. But yes, it's available in many, many languages. Particularly the major languages, of course, and so it is well established in many organizations, not just public sector, but also commercial entities now. So it's a very, very well established, tried and tested technology now.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. And I think, absolutely we'll take away the bonus question and we'll find out and get back to the person who asked about the Arabic language. Also, I think it's worth mentioning as well that the contact center AI is very adaptable. So like you, Mark, I'm very excited about that. I think there's a huge amount we can achieve. Okay, let's have a look at what's next. So next question we've got, Mark, is that you mentioned flexibility and interoperability being crucial to meeting the mission objectives in the future. How is Google Cloud helping to enable both of those for the public sector, please?
Okay. Well, I always say cloud is a journey and not a destination. It does enable ongoing change and transformation. That's very much what we focus on in Google Cloud. And so flexibility and interoperability is really, really essential. And we do this primarily in a couple of ways. First of all, in the way that our tooling is so flexible, adaptable, and easy to use. But primarily, we do this by offering hybrid cloud and multi-cloud solutions through Anthos, as you just heard me talk about, but also using world-class API management with Apogee, which I also just referred to. And this is really essential for building connected experiences and joining up stakeholders. Without those fundamental tools, it's very difficult really to provide complete flexibility and interoperability. At Google Cloud, we also fully embrace open source. This is a key aspect of flexibility. We not only put our own technologies into the open source market like Kubernetes, but we also embrace open source vendors within Google Cloud. And that's all part of the mix and the capability to provide that flexibility and interoperability, Hema.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. Okay, next question. This is a good one. You're going to love this one. So as we look to 2021, and you in particular, what are the new technologies that excite you the most?
Okay, I've got a non-Google technology, but it is an alphabet technology that I do like, and this is a personal favorite. It's from a company called Loon, L-O-O-N. Look it up online. It will enable billions of people who do not access the internet to enable them to provide access to the internet, because Loon is redesigning the essential components of a cell tower so it can be carried by a balloon 20 kilometers above the Earth's surface to provide really a network of stratospheric balloons to bring internet connectivity to remote communities worldwide. So that's one of my favorite technologies. From the cloud perspective, Hema, I think next year will be the year where multi-cloud will gain rapid adoption and AI and machine learning will start to become mainstream. There's a huge amount been discussed about both of those subjects in the past few years. And I think organizations will start to build what I call AI engineering capabilities to move AI projects really beyond the proof of concept and prototype into full-scale production. So for me, next year is more about maturing of some of these really exciting technologies. And to move into full-scale production for anything fairly new like AI machine learning requires things like maintainability, scalability, and governance. And so AI engineering will make AI part of the mainstream DevOps process rather than a set of specialized and isolated projects. And I think that's really what organizations will be looking at next year. So it's not so much new technology, it's really getting what we have today really into production.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. And yes, Loon is actually an incredible technology. And I know that a few months ago, we actually went live with Loon right across Kenya, which is an amazing feat because for the first time ever, the country manager came back with so much feedback to say that all of those remote and rural areas that hadn't been able to access internet overnight with Loon up there, it was amazing. So I would absolutely encourage everyone to go away and check what the capability is there. It's great. Okay, Mark, in recent conversations with GCP, we've heard about encryption by default, which is a powerful capability for public sector. Is confidential computing different, or is that an evolution of the same theme?
Okay, so confidential computing we announced earlier this year. Data privacy and data security is absolutely paramount to us at Google, and it's top of mind all the time. We trust absolutely nothing and no one in Google Cloud, and our customers' data is their data to the point where customers control location of the data, and all data has been encrypted in GCP at rest and in motion by default. Confidential compute takes this a step further and encrypts customer data within the compute process even. So data is literally encrypted throughout the entire cloud process, whether it's just being stored or it's being used and being computed on. So it really is taking it to the kind of final domain, really. And furthermore, just to finish the story about security and data encryption and privacy, customers can store and manage encryption keys outside of Google Cloud and have complete visibility and control over Google Access. So customers can, if they wish, deny decryption of their data for any reason whatsoever. And I guess the final part of the puzzle on data is that we also provide tools to enable you to automatically redact PIIs, personal information, data like names or dates of birth or addresses. You can redact that information automatically should you wish. So there's a lot of tooling in GCP to let our customers manage that data very securely, and that extends ultimately into confidential compute.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark. And fully agree. There is a lot of security that's built in at every level of the solution that we offer. So again, I would encourage everyone to come out and have a chat with us, come and talk to us, and we can explain exactly what we're doing. Okay, Mark, the next one we've got is a good one. So what about AI and related, how is AI related for administrative simplification and better regulation?
Yeah, so AI is really fascinating technology. In fact, it's not new. First AI papers were written in the 1950s by American computer scientists. So the concepts have been around for a long while, but the technology really is just maturing and going into proper use. And for me, AI should be really an exciting part of your work process, your process workflow. And for customers, really, it's important to look at their business, look at the business first, look at the kind of use cases where customers think AI can make a positive improvement in the service being delivered to their customers, or be it businesses or citizens, and see how that can help that service either to the end user or to the government entity and its workers who are providing that service. So AI, for example, might help them to deliver a better service by prioritizing cases, or it might help them to sift through many thousands of social welfare claims and enable them to look at the most urgent ones, for example, at the top, and deal with those quicker. So quite often AI can be also a triage kind of tool. It's a digital assistant, if you want to look at it that way. There's many capabilities within AI. We take it a stage further because with AI, we think it's important to be able to explain how AI comes up with its analysis. And so with Google, we have something called explainable AI. It gives you the percentage probability of that analysis being a likely outcome. And it also explains how it came to that outcome. So it's not just a black box that says, go and look at this particular case. It actually says, I think you should look at these cases based on these reasons and this percentage probability. And explainable AI is very important because a big part of this, again, is down to trust. And for us in Google Cloud, trust underpins everything we do. And so being able to explain AI models and enable our customers to have that capability, we think is very important. But once again, think of the use cases, think of your workflows, and think about how ideally those workflows would be designed to deliver the best possible service. And then AI can be built around to integrate into those workflows and deliver a better service ultimately.
That's great. Thank you very much, Mark. Okay, so we have another question. This one is, you spoke about dev skill fragmentation. What are the top skills that I need to develop in my team to accommodate my migration? How should I approach the transition?
Yeah, so, okay, skills are very important. Moving to cloud is a different culture and a different paradigm, and skills really are not just technical skills, by the way. I think it's important for business leaders to develop some skills and basic understanding of cloud as well. And I think in developing team skills for migration, there's first of all a lot of training available. We provide huge amounts of training, both online and face-to-face training. But I think taking it beyond that, the first thing is to really have good architectural design skills. The next I would highlight is security analysis and remediation. Having a good architecture and a proper security posture are both the two fundamentals to successful migration. And then it's around integration work and training end users as well for a smooth transition to a cloud solution. Don't forget the end users. I've seen customers too often just concentrate on skills with the technical teams, but forget either the management teams or the end users, and both are important constituents here. So I would say before starting the migration, we have something called a Google Cloud Adoption Framework. And this really evaluates the maturity of your organization in adopting cloud technologies. and it kind of serves as a map for determining where your business IT capabilities are now, and as a guide to where you want to be. And it looks at a few things like learning, the quality and scale of your learning programs. It looks at leadership, the extent at which your IT departments are supported by a mandate from the leadership to migrate to cloud. It looks at scale and the extent to which you use cloud native services today and how much kind of operational automation you currently have in place. And then it looks at security, the capability to protect your current environment from unauthorized and inappropriate access. So that's an adoption framework that we use. And our professional services team provide workshops and so on for our customers to look at that kind of an adoption framework.
Thank you, Mark, and fully agree. I think that magic triangle of people, process, and technology is extremely critical. But thank you. Okay, so next question. Speaking about the implementation of AI into data warehousing for public sector, what kind of solutions could GCP provide regarding this particular topic?
Well, the list is endless. Almost where do you begin? So, we have examples with Moorfields Eye Hospital looking at AI in eye disease and advising clinical consultants the likelihood of certain diseases, and again where to prioritise their cases. We've got examples of AI in the US Navy, from them using drones looking for maintenance issues on their fleet of ships, using Vision AI. So there's so many use cases, really. I've seen use cases around Freedom of Information Act, which is a challenge for public sector bodies here in the UK. I think the list is endless, and I would say don't constrain your thinking, really. There's so many capabilities within this technology. There's also, I would say, start with some basic things. Don't go to the most elaborate use cases first, because there's many basic things that customers struggle with and that consume a lot of time and effort in their day-to-day activities. And basic tools like Document AI, Vision AI, and Language AI, which can be used to assess huge volumes of documents, for example, look for certain use cases, looks for certain languages, looks for certain phrases, and can help rapidly move business processes through that pipeline. So I think don't be too elaborate. There's many variances of use cases, but start with the basics and then think of the unbelievable, really, because really what is possible is endless.
That's great. Thank you. We have time for one last question, Mark. So I'm going to throw you this one. It's a basic question, but how can you assure us that our data is secure and will not be shared in Google Cloud?
Well, absolutely. This is a fundamental principle of trust. We do not sell customers' data to anyone. It's not used for advertising. As I said, it's all encrypted. Our customers have complete control over it. They can see who's accessing it. They can limit it. We do not share it with anyone. This is a fundamental principle of Google Cloud, and we've got many references and many customers from the kind of the secure side of our customer segment. So you can see some announcements coming out during this summit yesterday and today from some customers who understandably have data that is very important to them. And so data security is very important to us. It's the number one pillar, I would say, within Google Cloud, is trust and security and privacy of that data.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Mark, for the keynote and also for answering all of these questions. Thank you to everybody that submitted a question. Any that we haven't got to, please be assured that over the next 24 hours, we will be recording all of them and we'll get answers back to all of you. I'd like to wish you all an exciting public sector for the next couple of days. Have fun. Please come back and talk to us, and please keep your questions coming in. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mark.